Welcome to this Change Lemniscate Podcast. In the change topic, thinking about organizational change, we talk about understanding the direction of change and the balance between top-down and bottom-up approaches, along with tackling resistance and fostering creativity. It's key for navigating effectively as a change professional. Be aware that we have also a YouTube video with visuals. I'm Aivey Viltus, and with me is Jonathan Sima. Jonathan, let's start with the basics. Why is defining the direction of change so critical for organizations, and how do drivers like urgency shape the approach?
Aivey, defining the direction of change is essential because it sets the foundation for clarity and focus. However, the drivers of change, like urgency or crisis, often dictate how flexible or rigid the approach can be. For example, if a company is nearing bankruptcy, leaders don't have the luxury of lengthy bottom-up change. In those cases, it's top-down and directive. It's our way or the highway. But in situations with more time and stability, there's an opportunity to blend approaches, encouraging creativity and engagement from all levels of the organization. Drivers like urgency, competition, or market shifts will always shape how leaders define and implement change.
That's a great distinction. Let's talk more about balancing top-down and bottom-up approaches. How do organizations manage resistance while fostering creativity in this process?
Managing resistance and fostering creativity are two sides of the same coin. Resistance often comes from a lack of clarity or inclusion, particularly in top-down approaches. Employees may feel the change is imposed, which stifles creativity. The key is transparency and communication. Even in top-down change, explaining the why behind decisions can reduce pushback. On the flip side, creativity flourishes when employees are given space to contribute, which is where bottom-up approaches excel. The trick is finding a balance. Top-down leadership provides structure, while bottom-up involvement allows for innovation and ownership. Both are essential to overcoming resistance and unlocking the potential of the entire organization.
That's insightful, but when urgency demands immediate action, as in a crisis, how can organizations still balance creativity and control effectively?
In crisis scenarios, creativity must be guided rather than left open-ended. Leaders need to frame challenges clearly. What needs solving? Why? And by when? So that creative ideas align with the immediate priorities. For example, in a near-bankruptcy situation, leadership may dictate the financial restructuring plan, top-down, while inviting employees to suggest operational efficiencies or cost-saving measures, bottom-up. This ensures urgency and control without shutting down creative problem-solving. The key is leadership setting clear guardrails while tapping into the collective intelligence of the organization.
Fascinating. Can you share an example where an organization successfully balanced urgency, resistance, and creativity to navigate a major transformation?
Absolutely. A retail company facing declining sales implemented a dual approach. Leadership initiated a top-down restructuring plan to cut costs and streamline operations, which addressed the immediate urgency. Simultaneously, they invited employees to propose customer experience improvements, fostering creativity and bottom-up involvement. By explaining the necessity of tough decisions and giving employees ownership over specific initiatives, they reduced resistance and generated innovative ideas that revitalized their business. It's a great example of how structure and creativity can coexist, even under pressure.
That's an inspiring case. Before we continue, what advice would you give to leaders navigating high-pressure situations who want to strike the right balance between direction and flexibility?
My advice is to be decisive, but inclusive. In high-pressure situations, set the vision and framework clearly. It's non-negotiable. But within that structure, create spaces for input and creativity. Use urgency as a catalyst rather than a constraint by channeling it into focused, collective action. Lastly, communicate constantly. Resistance often stems from uncertainty, and clarity is your best tool for maintaining trust and alignment.
For those who want to dive deeper, check out our YouTube channel at Management of Change. Stay tuned and subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions. Thanks for joining us today, Jonathan.
Thank you, Aivey. It's always a pleasure to discuss these critical topics. See you next time.